Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend our presentation today. My name is Annalie Shane, and I'm a technical field trainer with Vivotech. Today, we're going to be going over the VAST2 installation and setup. We'll go over some of the features of this easy-to-use VMS, and then I'll show you the basics on how to get started with your new install. If you have any questions, please email us at trainingna@vivotech.com. Don't forget to stick around to the very end where we'll be giving away a camera. VAST2 is an easy-to-use IP video management software to meet users' real-world needs. It comes with exciting advancements such as easy operation on single or multiple monitors, provides custom layouts, rapid export of video, and works with VCA analytics with integrated cameras. VAST2 is for small to medium to large installations. It supports an unlimited number of cameras. You are only limited by your network and hardware specifications. It still includes 32 free licenses and has many other features such as add-on solutions, plug and play, and quick detect, and many more. Let's go over some of the key features of the new version of VAST2. We have multi-monitor tabs, so you can manage unlimited tasks with multiple screens for intuitive and easy surveillance. Add-on solutions such as failover, transportation, transaction, and data magnet integration. You have auto streaming sizes for client applications. Change up the layout to the view the view to fit your camera's types. And then you can have advanced ways to search your videos using smart searches or thumbnail search. Multi-sensor display mode, I'll go over these modes in the demo. Matrix system for the video monitor walls, and it now supports remote focus. So any of our cameras that support remote focus, you can now configure the focus through VAST2. You can view 64 channels per monitor when viewing your cameras, live and playback, and it supports live multicast. Cybersecurity management solution is now included, and smart VCA integration. So let's dive a little deeper into some of these key features. You have an intuitive UI design. You have direct, intuitive, custom layout adjustments and fisheye region of interest control, so you can have a better security management experience. Auto setup. You can easily configure VAST2 through a fully automated wizard. This is going to save you time and cost to install the surveillance devices. 2.5D visualization EMAPs, so you can have multiple layers and camera field of views, allowing the users to instantly pinpoint a selected camera location. You can automatically set up you could set up an automatically scheduled backup, so the recordings will be backed up to a local or a network device. Export your evidence. So now it's so easy to export your video recordings in VAST2 with just a couple of clicks. Evidence lock. With evidence lock, you can manually extend the retention time for video recordings to ensure that they stay safe and don't get recycled before a specified time. Multi-monitor and tabs, so we can manage unlimited tasks with these multiple screens for intuitive and easy surveillance. Set up the views however you want. You have your EMAP on one screen and then your camera views on another one, or have multiple camera views on one screen and then a critical camera on another screen. VCA reports, so you can integrate Vivotech's intelligence cameras to provide visual reports that includes video feedback, tables, and charts. And then with advanced search, VAST2 now supports all the different smart searches and thumbnail search for advanced video search applications. You can use thumbnail search to produce snapshot previews to reduce the chance of choosing the wrong image. And it also helps you see the progression of what happened in the video in a more efficient manner. You can change the start and end date and time, increase or decrease the time intervals in between each snapshot, and how large or small you'd like for the thumbnail snapshots to be. With Smart Search 1, you can easily set up a custom or critical area and search for events only in that area, reducing the amount of time spent searching through recorded video. Smart Search 2, this is going to allow the users to search for objects or even people-related videos according to the VCA metadata from the recorded videos. Okay, this is going to scour through large amounts of data quickly to find exactly what you're looking for. It's very easy to use. It's similar to Smart Search. Just draw a polygon around the desired area. You're going to select the time frame you want to search, and if you wanted to search only for whenever a person is detected, there's a toggle button for that, and then click search. Okay, the search results will be returned at a rate of 10 times faster that of Smart Search 1, where it takes normally about 40 seconds of waiting time to search 1 day's worth of recorded data with Smart Search 1. Now it's only going to take 4 seconds with Smart Search 2. Smart Search 2 Plus is an even more powerful search tool that we provided with VAST 2.7 and up. You can now quickly sort through large amounts of recorded footage to find object or person related motion. Okay, Smart Search 2 Plus helps you quickly find evidence with match VCA or video content analysis behaviors with its powerful metadata search. It can search based on smart motion, which is the detection of people motion or object motion in a defined area. And then also now we have those human behaviors such as line crossing, loitering, and intrusion. All of these areas are defined by the user. Smart tracking is available with VAST 2.7 and up. So this is where you can track humans with the use of VivoTech Speed Dome camera, the SD9374 EHL. In smart tracking mode, cameras can detect a moving person. With 2.7 and up, you can configure the live view and settings, configure the tracking mode, and check the tracking rules and status. Okay, for events in VAST2, it's going to provide you a glimpse of all the smart tracking events, and you can create events to stop and start recording with smart tracking events, and then trigger an alarm with smart tracking when it starts tracking a person. VAST failover solution. So this is going to give you that reliable backup system that's designed to transfer the recording task from N sites to M sites if that rare occurrence of disk failure or malfunction occurs, okay? Looking into this a little deeper, you're gonna need 3 units, okay? At least 3 units. So you're gonna have the master, the active server, and the redundant server. There's a one-to-one with the active server and the redundant server. The master server and the active server are constantly communicating, but if anything should happen to the active server, then the redundant server is going to take over for that active server, and then you're going to have seamless redundancy. The CMS station will be the main station for the control and monitoring of the active and redundant servers. So what if something happens to the CMS station? VAST 2.7 and up is going to provide you with an option for a CMS failover. Okay, this is going to give you that 1+1 redundancy for the CMS or the central management system. Okay, in the case of the CMS going down, the recording and the management tasks will be transferred from the failing CMS to the CMS redundant server. With that 1+1 redundancy, it will automatically transfer the recording and management task for that if there's a malfunction. Okay, so in this example, you have the redundant server configuration. Okay, the CMS is supposed to be up and running at all times. If the CMS server fails, the server failover and failback operation will not take place. Okay, so it's therefore preferable to configure a CMS redundant server on a high uptime environment, such as like VMware configuration and so forth. Okay. In VAST 2.7 and up, on the dashboard is where it's going to display the failover status after the CMS redundant server takes over the recording task. And then also you can configure the recording path and designate when it should be back up, when it should back up the data after the network has disconnected. Data Magnet is an extension to integration. This allows us to easily upgrade to integrate with other softwares, including facial recognition, license plate recognition, and point of sales. Okay, these will integrate with VAST2 using the standard SDK and API. With the integration of the third party's data source, we can now have data overlay on the screen, whether it's POS transactions or license plate information. All of this is shown in real time and it will clear the on-screen display area after a set amount of idle time. Okay, for a list of our third-party data sources that VAST2 is compatible with, you can go to our website at vivotech.com/VAST2 #support and click on the compatibility. So what kind of system resources are needed for the server and the client? This information can also be found on our website on the spec sheet for VAST2. So we have 6th gen Intel CPUs and up, at least 4 gigs of RAM for the server and a minimum of 8 gigs for the client, gigabit Ethernet ports, and a 1 gig or higher video card that supports direct 3D acceleration for our viewing stations. If you're installing the server and the client on the same PC, you're going to need to evaluate the overall loading of that PC. It may take a lot of resources to do both on one machine. Let's take a look at the VAST2 components. You have 3 core parts. Okay, we have the VAST server, so this is for main monitoring and video recording. And then we have the VAST client. This is going to be used for viewing, exporting recorded videos, and playback. And finally, we have the VAST2 matrix. This is a service that allows you to install it on a computer that meets the necessary specs, but you can view all your cameras at a central location. The dedicated matrix server is a computer that has all the hardware capable of connecting to multiple monitors. Okay, you could change the local views locally or remotely and it'll change in real time. Okay, you can have a combination of live and playback streams displaying simultaneously, giving you a real-time awareness of scenes and easy access to past events. VAST2 mobile app is going to be Vivotech's iViewer, and it's accessible or available for Android and iOS devices. Okay, so now that we've gone over a lot of the more advanced features of VAST2, let me go ahead and show you how easy it is to get started with the software, and I'll go over the basics of VAST2. So let's start off with where to download. Okay, on Vivotech's website, vivotech.com, we'll go under Products, Software, VAST2. Okay, then we're going to go over to the Downloads tab. And here I'll be able to select from the different versions. So we have 64-bit, 32-bit, and also the client only for Mac OS. Once it's completed downloading, we're going to go ahead and go to that downloads folder and we'll unzip it. You'll notice in here we have option for the Matrix or VAST 2.8 setup. So for this, we're going to just use the VAST 2.8. And then we're going to go ahead and accept the EULA. Here you'll notice that we have options between server only, server with OpenVPN. This time we're just going to use the server only, and then also install the client as well. You have 2 options under standard server. So we have the free version, which is 32 free channels of Vivotech cameras. Okay, if we want to do the trial version, that's going to give us 256 channels of camera licenses, so I can use OnVIF and Vivotech cameras, and then our advanced licenses as well for 60 days. And then once that 60 days is over, it's going to revert back to our free version of 32 channels of Vivotech cameras only. All right, here you see that we're going to create the username and password. So there is no default password for VAST2. You set up the password whenever you're first installing this, okay? So we're going to leave the server username as the default admin and then create the password. We'll leave everything else as default and then go ahead and install it. If you notice, we installed to the C drive to record our data. That's not recommended to put the recordings on your OS drive, but for demo purposes, that's where we're installing it. All right, so the first time that we start up VAST2, it's going to give us a wizard. Okay, so this is my desktop, and we'll go ahead and open up VAST2 for the first time, sign in with the password I just created, and it's going to search my network for all the cameras. So we'll go ahead and just authorize them all by using the camera's username and password. And then go ahead and click Next. Here we can choose our schedule for recordings and then where we're going to store those recordings. It will apply those recording options to the devices. And now we're ready to use. All right. So let's go into VAST2. And I want to go over the basic elements of VAST2 Live View icons. Okay, so right here, you'll notice that we have our tabs. Okay, so the one with the eye means that I have a live view tab. If I want to add another tab, another live view tab, I could just click this plus sign, okay, and add in my cameras as needed. Right here, you're going to see icons for layout and for my camera tours. Okay, this is going to be my system resources up here. This is going to show the computer that I'm on. My CPU usage is what my CPU usage is and my memory usage. Okay, over here, this icon is for apps, my applications. Okay, so I have my dashboard. If I go here, I can monitor the system status, including the CPU, memory, and network usage of my VAST2 servers. I can also review error reports from the notification bar. Okay, let me go back to apps. Here's my emaps. All the emaps that I've created, I'll be able to view them here. If I just double click on it, I can go and click on a camera and it gives me the live view of that camera at that site. My data magnet, this is for my third-party software. If I have any cameras that are connected there, I'll be able to view this. Here, VCA reports, and then also perform event search where I can search for specific events. Okay, so choose what device I want to search and then what event I'm looking for, and then click search here. All right. This is going to be for my alarm list. So the alarm list provides easy access to all my triggered alarms, such as tampering alarms, alarms reported by VCA Analytics, external devices connected via cameras, DI pin, and more. Okay, if I will go to settings, here I can go to my settings menu and I'll go over this in detail in a little bit. Here I can perform my log searches if I want it to go into full screen. Help is where I can find my manual for VAST2 easily. I don't have to go to the website to download it. Okay, I can go back over here and then my about screen is going to tell me what version of VAST2 I'm running. You can see I'm running version 2.8, and then here's my device pack. I can easily upgrade my device pack just by clicking on this icon here. Okay, the side panel is where I can see my devices that I have already installed on here. Okay, if I want to see the views that I've created, I could just click on views. Okay, EMAP. Here's the EMAPs that I created. And then if I want to see the EMAP in my live view, all I have to do is drag and drop it there. And then here is for all my digital inputs and outputs. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our individual live view cells. Okay, so let me close that. Right here, if I right click on my individual live view cell, I'll get these options. Okay, I can change the viewing quality. This one's going to do auto streaming size, or I can change it to any of these sizes that are here. If I want to change what's displayed on here, like I don't want to show, if I didn't want to show the camera's name or date and time, I can go to display information, edit display information. Okay, here I'll be able to also remove motion windows or human detection or motion cell blocks. Just scroll down and I'll be able to remove all that information from here depending on what camera I'm looking at. Okay, another thing that you'll notice are these icons up here. So depending on what kind of a camera is going to depend on what kind of options I have available here. So if you notice with the FD9365 HTV, so T means that it has remote focus capabilities. Okay, so I can do the remote focus from this live view cell by clicking on the enable optical zoom, and I can zoom in and zoom out as needed. Take snapshots. I can do my thumbnail search, smart search, and playback as well. Okay, let me show you what I have available on my fisheye. So this is for my panoramic PTZ. If you recall from one of my previous webinars, I showed you the panoramic PTZ in use where we have a PTZ that's connected to an fisheye, and all I have to do is draw a circle on the fisheye and the PTZ will zoom into wherever I've just um, marked. Okay, I can dewarp my fisheyes as well. So I have my fisheye display mode icon here, and then I can change it to a 1 original, 3 regional, and I can pan, tilt, zoom as needed. Okay, so I have different options. So 1 original, 8 regional, 2 panoramic, 1 regional, and you get the idea. Okay, our MS9321 is our fourth sensor camera. Okay, so I can have different multi-sensor display modes. So with this one, I can have one panoramic view, which you notice here. I can go into one regional view. I can pan and tilt and then zoom in as well. I have one panoramic, 2 regional, and I can move it around by just clicking on this view right here. All right, and then speed domes. With this enable PTZ button on, now I can zoom in with my speed dome and zoom out. And then I can also move the speed dome by just clicking on it and moving it to the side. Or I can make it travel upwards as well. Guys, there's a little delay because of the network connection. Okay, and then to go back home, all I have to do is click this button right here, and it'll take me back home. There we go. All right, with my sources on the side panel, I can easily add cameras to this view just by dragging and dropping. Okay, so if I wanted one of these cameras that I have locally, I can move this FD8182 into this and just take over that. I can switch the camera positions just by dragging and dropping it on the camera view that I want to. I can change my layout by going to the icon at the top and selecting a layout. I can also choose from any of these default layouts, or I can customize it as well. So if I go back to this view, let's take my MS9321 4 sensor panoramic camera, and I want a nice widescreen view of it. If you notice down here at the bottom, there's a circle. All I have to do is grab that, drag it over, and now I can view that camera in a nice panoramic view. All right, let me go ahead and show you how to create a view. So if I were to right click on any of these single view cells, then I can just click on add a view. So if I like this layout, I have one camera, two camera views, and then one panoramic camera views. I like this layout. Let's go ahead and add this as a view. So we'll just call this view 8, it's fine, and click add. Now if you notice over here on my side panel, I now have a 1 over here indicating that I have a new view. Okay, so this is going to get my view 8. If I want to create a tour, okay, so I don't want I'm not touching or anything, I want it just to flip through a bunch of different views. All I have to do is come up here to this icon and click on add a camera tour. Very easy to set this up. All I have to do is click on this plus sign. Okay, it's going to ask me to create a tour name, so we'll say webinar test. Okay, for this one, we'll use view 8 as one of the tours. You'll notice that it comes up here, and I want view 7 that I've already created, which is a single view, and then view 6, which is another single camera view. And that's good enough for right now, right? And then if I want to change the amount of time that each view, the view's duration is, then I just click on this 5S. It'll bring up this pop-up, and I can enable or change the time. If I want them to stay on 10 seconds, I can go up to 1,000 seconds, 1 to 1,000 seconds for each view. Okay, I can have this enable audio tour. So if I have mics enabled on these cameras, I can change it or enable this to where it'll show that single view of a camera, and then show or I can listen to the mics for however long I specify here. If I want to make changes to all of the views, then I'll just click on the apply to all views. Okay, so we'll just leave everything as 5 seconds each. Go over here to the far right and click on add tour. Now if I want to test this out, just click on webinar test, and it starts out with my view 8 for 5 seconds and flips to the next view 7, and then it'll flip to the next one. This is view 6, and just keeps on going back and forth until I stop it. All right, let me show you how easy it is to do smart search. All right, so let me go ahead and do the FD9365. Top right is going to be my replay. I apologize. Let me go ahead and do a playback and export for you first, and then I'll go to smart searches. So if I want to replay first, then I'll go ahead and go to play. And then I can change what time I'm looking at by just dragging this, the histogram at the bottom. I can change the date, and then also change the time manually here. If I want to go back to live view, all I have to do is click on this button here. And then here's if I wanted to go to previous frames, play it backwards, go ahead and play it forward, and then skip to the next frame as well. I have up to 36 time speed that I can view it. And then once I find the recording that I'm wanting to export, over here I can click this export button. Okay, it's going to go ahead and automatically give me this amount as default, and I can change the amount of time that I'm exporting just by dragging the end bars in. Okay, once I'm done, I'll click the blue check box, I'll get my progress bar, and then you'll get the green check mark and then the blue open folder. This is a beautiful thing right here. All I have to do is click on that icon, and it brings up exactly where it downloaded to. I don't have to go searching for where it downloaded that export to. Just down up. Let's go ahead and click into that, and then I'll click on my standalone player. I have my progress bar here. And just give it a second to extract. And then here's my recorded data. All right, so let me go ahead and close this out. I will close this out. Now, if I had multiple cameras that I wanted to export, I can do that as well. Okay, so let's go back here and we'll go to view, let's go with view 5. All right, so I have multiple cameras. Let me go ahead and hit the playback on one. You'll notice this one is playing back, the rest are live. Once I find the time and date of what I'm looking for and I want to export all of these video clips, that's not a problem. All I have to do is click on this button right here for synchronized playback. So if I click on that, everything goes to the same date and time. Okay, so if I want to export all of these views on the same file, all I have to do is click on the export clips, choose my date and time or the amount of time that I want to export, and click the blue checkbox. You'll notice your progress bar here. We're looking for that green check and then the blue folder. Okay, and then find the folder of where we just exported those files to, and then click on the standalone player. And it'll play back all of the cameras. And whatever I have as my layout, so if I had my MS9321 over here and taking up both of these views, that's exactly how it would play back as well, okay? So whatever way that you back it up or export it for that view or the layout, that's how it's gonna also play back for you as well. All right, so let me go ahead and close this one out. All right, let me show you guys about Smart Search 1. So if I were to go into this camera view, up at the top, you see the little man running with a magnifying glass on him. This is going to give me my Smart Search options. Since this is not does not have smart motion detection, the only smart search that I have available to this is going to be Smart Search 1. Okay, so I'm going to be checking based on pixel changes. Okay, so if I wanted to check here for pixel changes, I can draw my polygon. And let's go ahead and go over here. And I say I want to check within the last hour if something happened in this area, and I can make changes here as well. So let's go ahead and perform a search and see if anything happened within the last hour. You'll notice how long it's taking to do a search on this because it's just checking for motion or pixel changes in this in this section, right? Unfortunately, I didn't have anything here, but if anything would have happened in that area that I drew, then it would have popped up with the results here. I'm going to show you Smart Search 2 now. Okay, so let me go ahead and get to my camera with Smart Search 2. All right, so now with this camera, we have human detection available on it, and I can perform a smart search here. Okay, let me go ahead and draw my polygon in the area that I want to search for human detection. Okay, so this is Smart Search 2 is going to allow for the search for objects or even people related videos according to VCA metadata that was recorded. Okay, so this is going to scour through large amounts of data quickly to find exactly what I'm looking for. So this is going to be 10 times faster than Smart Search 1. So what you're going to notice is over here on the left, I want it to do smart motion detection. Let me turn on the people detection and then click. Let me go ahead and do this for the past 2 hours. Okay, so from 9:38 to 11:38 Central Standard Time, we're going to perform that smart search. Look how quickly we're finding results. So 5 results immediately, and I did it for 2 hours worth of time, and it found it this quickly. Okay, so if I want to go ahead and play that back, all I have to do is click on the play button, and it'll show up on this small window here, or I can double click on that, and it gives me a nice big view. Okay, let's go ahead and X out of that. Now let me show you my Smart Search 2 Plus, which is going to give me human-based behaviors, okay? So cameras that are licensed with a VCA package can be searched for human behaviors such as line crossing, loitering, and intrusion. So I'm just gonna keep the same polygon here. Now if I go under type, now I can search, I apologize, I can search based on loitering or intrusion. Okay, so if I see, go ahead and click on intrusion. I want to know if somebody intruded into the zone, or do I want to see if somebody left from the zone? So let's just see if somebody intruded into the zone, which is going to be this polygon here, okay, for the past 2 hours. Let's go ahead and search. And it's going to give me 5 results where somebody actually walked into that area. Okay. I also have the option for line crossing, which it's going to ask me to draw a line. So I want to know if anybody ever crossed this line here. And then I can choose from whether they walked from in to out or out to in, or do both. So this one I'm just going to choose do both, and then click on the search. And it's going to tell me anytime somebody walked across the line either way. And then once again, very easy, I can just click play and it'll play in the small one here, or double click and I'll get a large view, and then I can easily export this video just like all the other ones by clicking on the export clips. All right, so next let's go into our settings. I want to show you how easy it is to add a camera and a site to this. Okay, so over here at the top right, we go to settings and then click on settings again. It'll bring up our settings menu. Very intuitive to try and figure out what you're looking for, what kind of changes you're making to settings. So for adding cameras, I'm going to go to device cameras. Okay. Up here, you'll see the plus sign. Here's where I can add cameras. So this is going to automatically search my network for cameras that are connected to this network. Okay, to add them, I could just check them individually, or I can check this box up here to grab them both at the same time. Then I can either click authorize, or if I just want, I can click add and it'll bring up my authorized box. Add in my username and password, and then click apply all if they have the same password for both cameras. Okay, so we'll go over here to the left and we'll check it out. We have my IT9388 and my second FD8182. Okay, I can go over here to my live view tab and then find my sources and add them to my live view screen as well. So I got my IT9388 and I can add it there. And remove that since it has the mic turned on. All right, now let me go back to settings. Easily add a site. I can either go from this menu and just drop down to sites, or if I just getting into my settings menu, I can find it easily here by going to device sites. Okay, so this is going to be any of my NVRs or other VAST2 installs that I want to view from this central location. Okay, very easily add a site by clicking this plus sign. And then I can either search the network to find a site, or I can use the IP. I can manually enter in the IP address, the port, and the CMS number. One thing I do want to show you is first thing that you have to do to add an NVR is we need to go into the NVR's settings. Okay, so let me show you here. If I go into the live view, top right, go to settings. From here, I'm going to navigate to network, and then service. Okay, so in my NVR, I need to make sure that this checkbox, the allow access, is checked for CMS and iViewer. Okay, so my VAST2 port is going to be 443, and then you're going to set up the password for VAST and VAST2. So that's first thing that you need to make sure is checked before you try to add them to your VAST2. All right, so for this demo purpose, I'm going to just do search for the NVR that's on my network, which is the ND9312. You see it automatically pulls through that port 443 and then my IP address. So let's go ahead and check that off. And then right here is going to be the password for my CMS that I just created. Let's go ahead and authorize that. Get our green check mark and then click apply. Now, the amount of cameras that an ND series NVR can connect to depends on each NVR model's capability, but whenever you're bringing in those NVRs into the VAST2, there's no extra camera licenses that are required for substation connectivity on VAST2. I'll show you here in a little bit about where to check all your licenses and their usage. Okay, very easy to set up a site. Now you see that we have the ND9312 added over here. Here, if I wanted to add my POS devices, my digital inputs and outputs, data magnet, this is for our third-party software. I can set this up here, and then external devices as well can be set up. So let's go back to settings. Now I can make changes to my recordings options and other things by going to recording. Okay, so it starts off with our recording options. Here you'll be able to change where our storage is. So if I added on a NAS or if I added on an external hard drive, I can change up where my recordings are being stored. Okay, over here you'll notice that I have my cameras, all my cameras that I have individually assigned to VAST2. It's going to I can make changes to what stream mode it's on. Also, if I want to change the schedule for these from continuous to events only, I can do that very easily. Seamless recording. What seamless recording is it's going to safeguard critical videos in the occurrence of network disconnection. Okay, so if you have the event of temporary disconnection, video is going to be stored in the individual camera's SD card, and then once that connection is restored, the VAST server could then automatically resume the recording. Next to it, you'll notice the activity adaptive stream. So this option is going to activate the frame rate control according to the alarm trigger. So the frame rate control means that when there's a triggered alarm, the frame rate will raise up to the value that you configured on the video quality page. Okay. Over here is where you can set up the backups. You can enable the backups where you want it stored, choose which cameras you want, and then your schedule as well. Here's where we can set up the failover architecture that I went over earlier. And then right here is where you can set up the local database as well. So let's go back to settings. Adding an alarm is super simple here as well with VAST2. So all I have to do is click on alarm, and then you'll see I have some already created, and then I can do add an alarm here just by clicking on this. I can add an alarm based on a camera event, a system event, or also an external device. Okay, so if I want to create a camera event, all I have to do is add trigger and then choose what kind of event. So if I want to say that I want to know if line crossing had happened, then I could just click on that. I would select the camera that this is already set up on. So if I were to have the line crossing detection on my airport MS9321, I can select that and then click add. I can select what I want it to do. So if I want it to send me an email, then all I have to do is click on send email and then enter in the information. I need to make sure to set up the SMTP server though first if I'm going to send emails, okay? And then you can create your schedule and then name it and click add. Easily add and delete users. Okay, so right now all I have is just my admin account. But say I wanted somebody to be able to log in with their own credentials, but I didn't want to give them admin access. Okay, so I can create an account here. Okay, I can set up the user management with authentication either by a basic account, which would just mean I have my username and then create a password for them, or by Windows Active Directory account, which I can just check this box and then add it in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and just create a basic authentication account. So we'll put in as test, password, and then their role. If I want to give them complete administrator rights, I can do that, or I can customize it, okay, and choose what permissions that they have and what accessible devices that they can use. Okay, so if I don't want them to have any configuration information, I don't want them to be able to add any devices or create emaps or anything like that, I can leave all of this unchecked. If I just want them to be able to view live and do playback, then I can just check these two boxes and that's all that they can do. Okay, then we'll go back up and say that we don't want them to have access to all of the different cameras. We just want them to be able to see the front parking lot camera. Okay, we can give them access to these few cameras that we want them to be able to see, and then just click add. So very simple to add in the new users. And also if I decided I want to delete them, they no longer work for us, then I can just easily click delete. All right, let's go back to the menu for our settings, and then I'm going to skip system for right now and just go to EMAP. I'll get right back to system though. So setting up EMAPs is very easy as well, very simple. Go into EMAPs and then just click on add a map view. Okay, so once I'm in here, I can go and find my map folder and I can add different views. Okay, once I have that added, 1 second, let me stop their video. Once I have that added, then I can double click on this and now I can add my cameras and move them around. Okay, you can change the color of the camera icons if you want, however you want to set it up. All right, and then if you notice, if I put a fisheye here, the field of view changes to a circle, and I can make it bigger or smaller, however I need to do it. All right, remember I said the 2.5 dimensional, so that I can do that here in a second. Let me show you that. Let me go ahead and hit done. Let me go under applications, EMAP, go into this new EMAP that I just showed you, and here I can do the 2.5 dimensional and just move that up and down. And it's just so that you can view it a little bit easier, however you want to view it. Okay, and then get my live view from each of these cameras. Okay. All right. Now let's get into system. Okay, so remember I was talking about licenses. Okay, I have 2 stations here set up, right? So I have my VMS station from my San Jose office, and then I have a local NVR, 8-channel NVR. That you'll notice that it's not taking up any of my licenses here. So I have 11 cameras that I have connected to my VAST2, but you saw on my camera views all these different cameras that I have connected. But because most of these cameras are connected to my NVRs or CMS station, then I don't have to worry about my licenses being taken up. Now, if you need to buy licenses, all you have to do is export. Click on this export license. It's going to send you a file that you send into tech support, and then they'll send you a file back that you import here. Okay, so that will add your different licenses. SMTP, this is for setting up your email server. And then under preferences is where we go in order to make changes to like where we're exporting our files to. So if I wanted to remove it from this one location in this random VAST folder under downloads, and I just wanted to change it to where it downloads straight to my desktop, I could just click on this folder and choose where I want it to download to. Okay, snapshot formats if it's JPEG or PNG. And then also if I want to include the standalone player with my clips, I can turn that on and off. Do I want the this VAST2 to start up with system startup? So if I turn on Windows, do I want this to be one of the programs that turn on automatically? I can turn that on here. I can open a set of pages from here as well. So as soon as I set it up to look exactly how I want, then I can change it to where screen 1, I want the view to be my view, let's say view 8 that I just created every time I start it up. Okay. Under station, this is a new feature right here with displaying watermarks. So if you have any non-admin users that are going to be logging in and you don't want them to be able to see the full picture, then you can add a watermark over the video. Okay, and then remember, we can save bookmarks in order to um, save our video. Okay, so we don't want them to be recycled if our hard drives get full. We want to save those certain images or videos, right? Then this is where we can make changes to how long we reserve those bookmarks before they're recycled. And you can go all the way from 1 day all the way up to a year, 365 days. All right, if you have any issues or bugs with VAST2, easily send feedback here. It'll open up a ticket, and then you just go ahead and fill all this out and then send it in, and somebody will contact you as soon as possible. All right, everyone. So that was some of the basics of getting your software installed. I know it was a lot of information, but if you need more information, then just go to our website. We have tutorials on there, shows you exactly how to set up a lot of these features. Go to vivotech.com/VAST2. If you have any questions or comments, please shoot them over to trainingna@vivotech.com. Also, to see a list and register for future Vivotech Insider webinars, please visit us at vivotech.com/VWA/insider-webinars. Okay, and also if you missed a webinar, you're wanting to view the recording at a later time, you can now find the recordings on our partner portal. All you have to do is log into vivotech.channeltivity.com. You're going to navigate over to the left-hand side for this folder, this Vivotech training, and then go to folders. In there, you're going to find training videos, corporate videos, and our webinars and others. Okay, so thank you so much for attending. I hope to see you next Friday for our presentation on Vivotech camera basics. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.